Thank you guys for watching. Today I want to be talking about the card market while I'll be sorting out these cards. So I'm going to be dividing everything by card. So everything Dragon Ball, Pikachu related, Yu-Gi-Oh related, I'm going to separate them to further organize my inventory. But I want to talk about the state of the hobby recently. So everyone realized that I would say One Piece is trending pretty insane right now. And what I want people to realize that usually people who try to hype up certain products are usually people who can get their hands on it, right? So that's just the name of the game. Majority of the people who actually can get their hands on One Piece will hype up One Piece. People who would like to hype up Yu-Gi-Oh can hype up Yu-Gi-Oh. As a collector, I collect basically almost everything, which is almost impossible, or I would say it's really unlikely you would see a collector collecting various kinds of cards, but they don't call me Card Senpai for no reason, right? Again, I collect for the hobby, and at the same time, I only collect things that I like. I don't collect things for join a hype or a trend. I collect things that are appealing to my eyes and worth having in my collection. And just like anyone else who collects, sometimes we sell, sometimes we profit to get better and get our grail cards. But at the same time, money isn't everything, right? We want to make sure we enjoy the hobby naturally, which is why it's best to join the hobby for the fun of it, not for the investment side of it. And for the people who are new to Japanese cards, if you have not seen these cards before, some of these are Japanese exclusive. So comment down below which cards you guys like and which cards you guys are interested to watch. So I have tons of Pokemon, I have tons of One Piece, WWE, UFC, Yu-Gi-Oh. I have a tons of many varieties, So don't be shy to comment which cards do you feel that caught your eyes. So I have no more space for Dragon Ball. Let me move these here. Dragon Ball, One Piece. So again, One Piece is pretty insane, and especially in America, where a lot of the people hyping up a lot of these so-called One Piece products because they could get their hands on it, and they would say they're rare, scarce, this and that. I would like to share my opinions and my thoughts. I've been collecting for a long time, since like before the boom, before the Logan Paul boom. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is Card Senpai, and I want to say that cards has been very interesting. The hobby has been very interesting lately, and again, I want to go back to the point where modern isn't scarce. What is scarce are exclusives, okay? Japanese exclusives, Chinese, some English exclusives. So things that are built, things that are printed, things that are made through modern sets are not scarce or rare, because if there are vintage boxes, vintage seal, Japanese, English, whatever language, if it's still lying around 20 years later, could you imagine how many will be available for modern 20 years later? Let that sink in. You could find sealed boxes even today, Neo, base set, Japanese as well. You could find all of them, and they were made in the 19s, right? The late 1990s. But you could still find them today. And you think modern will be valuable because it will be hard to find? No. Again, I've been collecting since the Logan Paul boom. Remember, same with grading. People are aware. People are aware of grading. People are aware of sealed. So it's not that it's gonna be rare. It's gonna be there's abundance of it. People can say, oh, but there's gonna people gonna go to grading. People are gonna send stuff to grading, and it's gonna open more boxes. Nope, that's not how it goes. They know that they're gonna send stuff for grading, and they know they have to keep some sealed. Pretty simple. And you think printing companies won't go burr? Okay, you think they won't print a lot? Believe me, if they can make money, PSA people spend what? Regrades. They spend money to regrade their cards. What makes you think Pokemon will not reprint and not tell you, and people pretend that they have this inside, oh, I have this information from this and that. In reality, if you do not work for that company, they will let you hear what they want you to hear. Pretty simple. And people who likes to I would say boast and hype up certain markets, it's because they have supplies of it. Okay, people, same with PSA cards. People who doesn't accept that PSA is a scam, that I would say BGS, all these grading companies, they're all scam. They're all just giving out opinions, in my opinion. Okay, they all give out their opinions, but people are too blind to see it. Just remember, we live in an era right now where grades for PSA, let's say we're talking about like PSA right now. We are talking about PSA where there is a PSA 10. And now there is what? A weak 10 and a strong 10. And now there are 9s stronger than a 10. What kind of era are we living in collecting? That just shows you how blind people are nowadays. Because in reality, could you imagine you have a 10, but someone tells you your 10 is weaker than my 10? I have no idea. I have nothing to say. That just shows you how, I'll put this miscellaneous. That just shows you where we are in the state of the hobby right now, because it's so laughable. And when I see these YouTubers, influencers, believe it or not, none of them, a lot of them, majority of them, I've been watching them and I kept my eye on them. And there are some influencers that I respect. And I'll name them and I'll say them right now. SM Pratt. Okay? I knew that guy for a long time. Twice Baked Jake. I even knew Twice Baked Jake even before he even got big. He actually started collecting cards after, I would say, I never heard of Twice Baked Jake tag team era. I ain't gonna lie, I'll call it right now. Twice Baked Jake, if you're watching this, I want you to comment down below. Were you collecting before the tag team era? Because I've never seen you before. When I was collecting tag team, before I would see all these Latios, GX, all these rainbow rares, I've never heard of Twice Baked Jake. So, from what I know, I think I've been collecting even longer than Twice Baked Jake. So, it is not to brag or anything, but it just shows you that I've been watching the hobby. I've been keeping my eye on the hobby for a while, and I just want to let people know what I think and what I see from a far view. And now here I am. I want to speak my mind, because there are so many stigma in collecting that are so negative more than positive. A lot of the people likes to talk about this kid. I really believe a lot of it is brainwashing in in uh, in short perspective, right? If I put it into a short, it's all about being brainwashed, because this hobby is not about just who has better tens, who has better cards. It's about basically you enjoying the memories of I would say acquiring the cards. My my wife made this. It is a base set but extended art. So it was pretty damaged, so I asked her to draw on it. It's pretty sick. But I want people to understand that collecting is fun. It's not all about money. If you're here for the money, then guess what? I hope that you actually love collecting very soon, because if you just love it for the money, then I guess we'll see you, or you'll be watching this and maybe you're gonna forget about it. But if you've been watching this and you're a collector, you would understand that the state of the hobby is about enjoying and acquiring the cards. I've been collecting so many cards. I have so many Grail cards, and I don't want to let it go because the attachment that it took me to acquire cards. So I have tons of cards that I'll show again in other videos. But at the same time, I'll leave it for another content for you guys. So stay tuned, subscribe, and thank you guys for staying this long and hearing my rant. But I want to just share my insights about this situation where cards has been money has been so corrupted to the point where it took over the hobby, when actually the hobby was about just people what enjoying collecting, binder collecting, not this grading grading culture. Okay, money took over. Money's grading culture started because of this money thing. Okay, so the Logan Paul boom and everything, but at the same time it's good to deal with money because at the same time you can grow and expand your grills, but people need to realize that's not everything when it comes to this hobby. What really is about this hobby is the people you meet and how you the memories that you have with the cards. So let me focus now on about cards. So I collect Dragon Ball, Fusion card, and Divers, Super, and for sports cards I collect mainly UFC. And for anything that's Japanese, I collect almost everything else that you see: Kingdom Hearts, Naruto, and Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, One Piece. I collect varieties because I enjoy the card game and I like to be very, I would say, diverse in the cards because there are so many cards that are so amazing to acquire, right? We have a lot of grails in certain hobbies. One Piece are the mangas, Pokemons are the SRs, Dragon Ball, we already know they are the SRs. But in reality, the most valuable cards will be tournament cards, will be short prints and exclusive cards, promotional cards, whether it's going to be certain countries that have their own certain promotion, like Chinese with their Pokemon cards, and we have Chinese with their One Piece cards, Japanese with their, I would say, full set of promotion cards, because for Pokemon there's so many Japanese exclusive. So people don't realize, why does Japanese print first? Japanese Pokemon cards prints first because of because they're of license, right? People want it to be like One Piece where they can print out everything all at once. Global release. For Pokemon it's a different story because of the situation of licensing. So Pokemon is under 3 license, right? That's the reason why it takes a lot of process for English to release. So they're under, if I'm not mistaken, the Pokemon Creatures Inc., Game Freak, and Nintendo. So many of them are involved, which is why there's always a delay for the release of English cards. So not many people even know that. Not many people even, let's say, been collecting. Let's say they collected 4 or 5 years. Some of you guys don't even know that, right? Because you guys are not really that in depth into the hobby and aware on what's going on. You just see cards, and that's all you see, cards, but you don't see the game. You don't play the game. You don't play video games. You don't have the nostalgia to it, right? Some of you guys who came into the hobby just come in because you saw money, but you never found attachment to it other than just money. You didn't enjoy it as a kid. You didn't enjoy it as whatever figures. You didn't enjoy it as just a normal kid, right? We're attached to Pokemon because of the fun memories of when we were kids. But people likes to say, money is so important in the hobby. I would say, if you think like that, then I really believe you're gonna be in the hobby for a short run, because it is not a great mental thing to think about. To think that the hobby is just about money. Okay. Again, I'm not saying that money runs the world, which it does, but the hobby is the hobby because of the memories of what we have with the cards, which is why I also want to say that One Piece is on a big trajectory up right now, but it's scary because we fell in love with Pokemon because of the memories. So if One Piece were to go crazy, and if people just see it as a money grab, then guess what? People won't have good memories of One Piece. So in the long term, One Piece will even go worse, because right now they're stacking the chips so high And once people realize that there's no more money to be made, guess what happens? Just like anything else, everyone gets uninterested in the hobby. Okay, and the people who stay are the same people who actually were here at the start. So if you guys are in the hobby for the love of it, for the artwork, for the nostalgia, for basically not the wrong reasons, right? Then you'll be here. And hopefully, I hope you guys can find this video very helpful. But at the same time, I just want to create a community where people will stop spreading wrong informations. So people also likes to talk about value, right? About One Piece, Pokemon. I've been also collecting since early 2022 before any English, before your so-called OPO1, whatever, blue bottom, whatever English. Japanese cards are the first cards. Guess what? That doesn't change. Yes, 2026 will have this global release thing, but anything pre 2025, everything else is in Japanese. Come on, guys. How how blind can people be, right? And they like to say, the language. I like to see things that are, that I can read. Okay, remove the artwork. Keep the language there. Would you collect the card? No, we are here for the artwork, not for the language. So, and now people are complaining about that Charizard card, right? Oh, it's covering Charmander's face. Come on. Now you're saying the English texture, because the English writing is covering the face. So it proves right there that we are in it for the artwork and not the language. So when people say, English is more valuable than Japanese, those are people who have Japanese, who doesn't have Japanese cards. Those are people who only have English and can acquire English. As I said, these so-called investors and resellers will hype up anything because they have it in their hands. They have it, they have abundance of it, and they want to sell it. Same with grading. People don't want to accept the fact that PSA, I would say, brainwash them. They don't accept it because they already invested so much of their money that they cannot believe they were bamboozled. Simple. Very, very simple, man. So people who are in it for the hobby, people who actually understand what I'm saying, actually I really believe you guys been collecting longer than me. So I applaud the people who are in the hobby since from the beginning and stayed strong and had to deal with these people who had to, I would say, watch from afar that the card market got worse when these investor bros joined. And hopefully Pokemon card game will go back on track someday. But in the meantime, we have no choice but to deal with it. But same time, don't give up and don't, I would say, don't lose hope in collecting. Hope the prices will stabilize and hope that everything else will get more affordable in the future, because collecting cards is a passion of mine and I like getting cards that I'm able to acquire and collect into my binder. I never graded in my life, so it would not affect me if I have graded cards or raw cards or binder copies at all, because I enjoy the hobby. And that is my rant for today, guys. I'm Card Senpai. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for watching this long. I'm gonna put these away into my deck boxes and hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye bye. Peace.